very good afternoon to you. Welcome to News Updates at 12 on Dominion Television, Ibadan. I am Olusegun Fawole. Now the news in detail. The federal government and the Kingdom of the Netherlands have reaffirmed their commitments to strengthening cooperation on migration management and the fight against human smuggling. The renewed partnership was highlighted during the donation of training equipment to the Nigeria Immigration Service Hostmanship Unit in Abuja. The donated items include a solar power system, smart televisions, a projector, laptop, sound system, and internet facilities. Comptroller General of Immigration Kemi Nandap says the equipment will improve training and promote professionalism, empathy, and better public service delivery. Dutch officials praised the long-standing partnership with Nigeria, which spans 25 years, and announced plans for additional executive training in the Netherlands to further strengthen border management and migration cooperation. Senator Adams Oshiomhole has backed the use of lethal force against armed criminals, saying security personnel should shoot armed offenders on sight. He criticized Inspector General of Police Olatunji Disu for clarifying his earlier comments on the controversial directive. The Edo North senator said the Inspector General should not have appeared to backtrack on the issue. Oshiomhole argued that officers should act decisively when confronting armed criminals, insisting the police chief had no reason to apologize or explain his position. The House of Representatives Ad hoc Committee investigating the controversial Presidential Foreign Investment Promotion Council is under pressure to summon the President's Chief of Staff, Femi Gbajabiamila, as it expands its probe. Lawmakers have directed the Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu, to produce the alleged promoter of the agency, Adeniyi Adeyemi, before the committee for questioning. The committee issued the directive after hearing testimony from senior government officials. Lawmakers say Adeyemi's appearance is needed to clarify key issues raised during the investigation. The Nigeria Customs Service (NCS) has released the final list of successful candidates for appointment as Assistant Superintendents of Customs 2 under its 2024-2025 recruitment exercise. In a statement issued, Customs spokesperson Abdullahi Maiwada urged applicants to check the NCS website or selected national newspapers to confirm their recruitment status and obtain details of the next stage. Successful candidates will receive further instructions through the email addresses and phone numbers provided during registration. The service advised all shortlisted applicants to follow official communication channels and comply with all recruitment directives. More than 40 suspected bandits, including 8 senior commanders, have been killed after security forces repelled a large-scale attack in Guga village in Bakori local government area of Katsina State. The operation involved local hunters, the Katsina State Community Watch Corps, and troops of the Nigerian Army's 17th Brigade. Security sources say over 200 armed attackers stormed the community but were forced to retreat after a fierce gun battle. 5 local hunters lost their lives during the operation, while the Katsina State government described them as heroes who died defending their communities. Meanwhile, troops also recovered 126 rustled livestock in a separate operation and rescued a kidnapped woman in Sharanchi local government area. Authorities say security has been reinforced to prevent further attacks. Kayama Development Association (KDA) and the Batombu Unity and Development Initiative (BUDI) have called on the federal and Kwara state governments to urgently rescue 176 people abducted during the February 3rd attack on Woro community in Kayama local government area of the state. Speaking at the security briefing in Abuja, the groups warned that rising attacks in Kayama and Barutin could escalate into a full-scale insurgency if left unchecked. KDA, Abuja branch president Umaru Gunu and co-convener Professor Umaru Semo urged authorities to rescue the abductees, restore security, support displaced residents, and prevent the affected communities from being forgotten. Meanwhile, the group said more than 500 people have reportedly been killed since the beginning of 2026, with thousands displaced and several communities repeatedly attacked, while they also blamed poor road infrastructure for slowing security operations and worsening the crisis. And now talking business. Members of the organized private sector have warned that the United States' decision to impose a 12.5% tariff on certain Nigerian exports will affect some exporters despite exemptions for key raw materials. They urged the federal government to move swiftly to address regulatory gaps and seek a review of the measure. The United States had announced the tariff on July 23rd as part of a new trade measure targeting countries it said had failed to prohibit the importation of goods produced with forced labor. The tariff affects imports from 60 economies, including Nigeria. Countries such as India, Indonesia, Malaysia, Mexico, and the United Kingdom will pay a lower 10% rate after adopting or committing to implement prohibitions on imports linked to forced labor. And now to foreign news. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is set to meet United States President Donald Trump at the White House as Washington considers new sanctions against Russia. The meeting comes as the U.S. Senate prepares to vote on a sanctions bill that could place tougher penalties on Moscow, including tariffs on major buyers of Russian oil and gas. Zelensky is also expected to meet U.S. lawmakers. The talks follow Ukraine's attack on an Iranian vessel in the Caspian Sea, with Iran warning of possible retaliation. Meanwhile, heavy fighting continues between Ukrainian and Russian forces. Firefighters are battling major wildfires near Bordeaux in France and Madrid in Spain as another intense heat wave pushes temperature to 39 degrees Celsius. Authorities say dry weather and strong heat are making efforts to contain the fires more difficult. In France's Gironde region, the wildfire has scorched more than 42,000 hectares and destroyed at least 240 homes. More than 300,000 people have been evacuated across France and Spain, with many residents opening their homes to those displaced by fires. Weather forecasts show little relief, with dry conditions expected to continue until at least Friday. Fire officials say the Bordeaux blaze has been stabilized, but it is not yet completely under control. And now to sport. Nigeria's Flying Eagles began their defense of the WAFU B Under-20 championship title in impressive fashion after defeating Ghana's Black Satellites 4-2 in a thrilling Group B encounter on Monday at the Lycée Scientifique Stadium in Yamoussoukro, Côte d'Ivoire. Abdul Mohiz Adeleke nets brace, Olayemi Ayinla and Oraro Lucky also on target for Flying Eagles, while Mohamed Zaidan and Musibal Aziz scored goals for Ghana. The Flying Eagles will now turn their attention to their next Group B fixture against Togo as they look to build on their strong start to the tournament, which serves as the qualifying competition for the Africa Under-20 Cup of Nations. You can visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng to watch us live and interact with us. You can also follow us across our social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube and LinkedIn at Dominion Broadcast, and on X at Dominion Cast. And that ends the news update on Dominion Television. I am Olusegun Fawale. Thank you for watching. Good afternoon.